Hey everybody, my name is April and this is Thrifty Dirty Mom. So if you're new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. I'm so glad to have all of you here. And yeah, let's talk a little bit about what we are doing today. So today is a Disney DIY. But it's not just a Disney DIY, it's a recycled Disney DIY. If you're here around Christmas, you saw that I made an advent calendar using toilet paper tissue rolls. And that kind of sparked the idea of maybe doing like a recycled DIY once a month. And what I mean by recycle is items that you have around your house that you can use for a DIY and things like that. And just pretty much recycle it. And it's a good way to do like a low budget DIY. It's also like just really cool to use something that would just otherwise go in the trash. But before I get more into it, please like, subscribe, join our family. We have much more DIY content coming out this year. I believe every Saturday. Sometimes it might end up being Sundays. Saturday or Sunday, I will post a DIY, whether it be Disney or just Dollar Tree or just nerdy related. There's going to be a DIY every week. So today's DIY, like I said, it's recycled. And I am going to be using these, probably not all of them, but I'll be using some of these t-shirt boxes from the holidays that I bought from Dollar Tree. They came 3 in a pack. I do reuse them a lot of times for the next year, but sometimes, especially with a child, those boxes don't make it because they just get torn. So they're not really usable in that way. As you can see on this one, it's kind of torn. It's torn, it's torn. Anyways, so I thought make an awesome DIY sign for the home. If you haven't been watching quite yet, my DIYs for January are home related. Last week's was a 3 Harry Potter signs for the home. The last one even included the word home. So pretty much today's kind of the same kind of thing. So another way that I recycle things is using Dollar Tree signs. It's a holiday sign, but on the back it is blank. And you'll just remove that sticker and you just paint the back. And that way you have 2 signs and you're not having to spend more money on craft items. I will be using paint and some glue and I think some like string, but that's already stuff that I have. And paint I usually buy from Walmart for 50 cents a bottle. So I'm going to stop rambling about it. Let's get into the DIY and I will see you afterwards. So to start off with this project, you're going to need a sign. I am using a Dollar Tree holiday sign that I've had for a few years. You're going to want to flip it over to paint the back with a light blue sky color. After your sign is covered in the blue and dried, you're going to use some white paint and start painting clouds. Right here, I'm just freehanding using little C's, but you could easily print out a picture of a cloud from Google and use that to trace onto your sign. You are going to want to put several clouds on the sign because it will make the blue look more like cloud or sky in the background. While your clouds dry on your sign, you're going to want to start making the balloons on the t-shirt cardboard boxes that everyone uses for Christmas. Here I am just freehanding it, but you could definitely find a printable online that you can print out. Since I am freehanding this balloon, I folded or used the fold in the cardboard to make both sides more symmetrical. After I freehand half the balloon, I am just going to cut it out. After you cut out that first balloon, you are going to want to put it down so you can trace out other balloons. That way they are all even and cohesive. Here is all the balloons that I have traced. I believe I got close to 10, and now I'm just going to cut them all out. Once they are all cut out, you are going to want to paint the balloons to give them different colors. You paint them according to the preference of colors that you want. I just had that leftover paint from a craft set and thought I would use it. Here we're going to start laying the balloons down on the sign to find placement of where exactly you want all the balloons. I definitely suggest placing things down before you glue them down to make sure you want things where you want them, because sometimes they just don't look right, and if you glue them down first, it's harder to remove. After I'm satisfied of where I placed everything, I take them all off again and grab the first layer and start to glue down that first layer. Then I'll glue down a few more for a second layer and then glue the rest down for the final layer. Now for a little extra detail, I'm going to use the string to add strings to the balloons. It is easily split in two, so I cut out a few pieces and then I pull them apart to make two pieces out of one, and then I tie them onto the bottom of the balloon. Once I have tied the string onto the balloon, I'm going to add a little dab of hot glue onto the string. That way I can secure it onto the sign. After you're finished adding strings onto all the balloons, I'm going to use my white paint pen to add a little bit of white highlight to all the balloons. As you can see here, the paint pen dabbed out too much white, so I'm just going to use the paint off my finger and add the highlights that way. And if you mess up, it's easy to wipe off as long as the paint is wet. After I'm done adding all the highlights to all the balloons, I am going to use this ruler to keep my line straight for the phrase I'm writing out on the sign. I am going to use straighter capitalized letters on the top, and then the final word I'm going to use a bolder cursive. I suggest when doing hand lettering that you use a pencil first before you use more permanent marker or paint. After I'm satisfied with my pencil marks, I'm going to use this blue metallic marker that I picked up from the Dollar Tree and fill in the lettering. I just wanted to say that this DIY gives me not only Disney World vibes, it definitely gives me Up vibes as well. And this is the sign finished. It says there's no place like home. So that was it. That was my home DIY for the week. It's my recycled DIY for the month. If you liked it, please subscribe. I've already said that, but subscribe, because we do have more DIY content coming out. Comment below and let me know some awesome things that I can recycle and use as a DIY. I do have a few ideas coming up. I have one for February, I have one for March, and I have one for April. But I could always use more ideas for later on this year. So comment below, give me some ideas. But for now, thank you so much for watching. We are so glad you came. Once again, I said we. I am so glad you came. Because it's only me today. But yeah, we'll see you again real soon. Bye.